what is talked about in Jeremiah and what Christ said. You know, he knew you before you were even conceived. You're pre-existent to conception. He knows you personally. He knows exactly what you're going to do your entire life, and he gave you the free will because he needed your free will to work with everyone else's free will to bring forth the template of life to which we are now facing. We have this commission of peace, 20 some odd different people, and out of it, guess what they did this last week?
Declared war?
No,
The Commission of Peace. It sounds like the opposite usually, right?
Right. Well,
Who are these guys?
organize a group of 10 leaders to oversee their decisions. Kind of like the 10 kings that the book of Revelation talks about.
Okay.
Okay, so it's pretty interesting that all this is coming about. All this focus is on Iran, Persia. It says Persia returns at the end, because you have to understand, Persia, Iran, was one of the strongest Christian nations in the Middle East until the Ayatollahs came in. Okay, and basically they took over 47 years ago or something like that. I remember when it happened. I remember the 13 guys in the helicopter that were trying to land during a sandstorm that were going to rescue the hostages that were held for 444 days. And then when Reagan got elected, they immediately wanted to negotiate because back channel says we're going to come in and destroy you. And that's how they got him out. The 444 days of being prisoners in violation of international law, because they were people that were in the embassy, and then from that on it was a time of tyranny that they killed thousands upon thousands of people that would not bend to their authority. And then through the sell and manipulation of international agreements, they became the funder of the terrorist organization in Yemen, and Hezbollah and Hamas and other third-party actors out there, to be a thorn in the side of the United States, Israel, and all of our allies in the Middle East. They didn't care about the people. The people, they had a terrible life. They're one of the most prosperous nations in the region, going from the highest form of acumen and study of women and men in universities, and more free and European-like than even Israel.
Well, and they were leading the world in some of the sciences for a while too. All of the numbers that we have today, 1 through 9 and then 0,
Persia
that all
was
comes
part of
from
that.
Persia, yeah.
Yeah, and their trade system, their sailing system, they were basically at the center, the crossroads of the east-west corridor between everything that happened in the east ended up going through a portion of Iran, except for the stuff, the northern trade route, which would be only used during the summer months, and that would go over the Caspian Sea and into Europe, and that's where the Khazarians were hiding out. So I think, just looking at it, the Khazarians, they call themselves Ashkenazi Jews, because it was Japheth had Ashkenaz. Ashkenaz basically was the one who the Khazarians came from. So if you look at all that, I think this whole thing about funding the Ayatollahs was to bring the power structure or the diversity of assets into the Middle East against the control forces. They weren't other than through Rothschild banks.
Gain power through their secrecy. Working generationally to power for the bloodline. What do you mean when you say all of them?
Ukraine is just a money laundering for the British.
Like the Burisma?
The US, China, they used for 1 year. I think the majority of all the companies headers were there.
Hmm. And Biden made that phone call, getting fired or whatever.
Yeah, because they're investigating his son.
Yeah, and that
And
was
Burisma.
how it used to go back in those days. No problem. Biden thought he wasn't going to get caught.
On. You think that's gone away?
Well, yeah, it's probably
It just
still
moved
going on.
someplace else.
Just, I guess it's harder for them now that it's exposed.
Well, yeah, but the majority of the people. You see, the thing is, who are going to hold those people accountable?
Me.
Yeah, right. I have a.
I'm
friend
working
that,
on it.
I got a friend that
You
talks
believe
about
it.
that stuff, and I'm like going.
Believe
You're never
it.
going to do this. They've got the guns. They've got the money. They've got the power.
I've got God behind me.
Well, you do, but see, it's God's
That's
will,
it.
not ours.
Exactly. Yeah, so ultimately, through us, God holds them accountable. Like Nuremberg 2.0, Helsinki
that's-
Accords, we're going there, folks.
Well, that's why this
Or I
whole-
try for the Lord.
the free will thing. Let's get back to that.
Yes,
Everyone's a precipice, and it's biblical.
I can dig it.
And so, if God is intervening in all this stuff, what has to happen? It's going to be God's wrath. The thing is, humans' ability to overcome it is so extreme at this point. God's wrath has to be God's wrath, and that's why he's going to take his children out of the way before his wrath is poured out.
We're getting beamed up, folks, before it
Well,
gets
we
real
certainly-
nasty.
Well,
Give me that
actually-
fiery chariot.
Now here's the whole thing. It's funny that we say beamed up, but isn't the ethereal plane the E in E equals MC squared?
Yeah, buddy.
Ethereal
Now we're
plane,
touching on
energy.
it. Yes.
Okay.
Waveforms.
Isn't it funny that we construe it as being up?
Right? A
When
higher
it's-
vibration, yeah.
But its amplitude is up,
Yes.
and that's why we can't see it. But it coexists. We coexist with it at the exact same time.
Right.
That's why the kingdom of God is within you. It's everywhere. It's
Yes.
everywhere. Okay, and the world is looking at it like it's someplace else that you go to. No, you basically change your resonant frequency. When your resonant frequency it matches God's resonant frequency, you're in his plane of existence. In the middle, you have the transitional part, which is the Holy Spirit, in both places, communicating with you that you are a child of God.
I think that's how
Influencing.
Jesus walked through walls. He phase shifted. Like the Philadelphia Project.
Yeah, but the thing is, we call it phase shifting, but that's our natural state. This
Right.
is not our natural state. This is so we can have an experience of life
Of limitation.
that believes in limitation.
Yes.
We believe the lie,
Right?
and that's what this whole world is about.
Yeah, we believe in mortality when really we are immortal souls.
Absolutely.
Cannot
And I
be
can personally
destroyed.
Contest to that, or test that, not contest.
Yeah.
Contest to that, having been clinically dead twice.
I second that.
Having had space-time change, having had the voice of God tell me what to do and save my life.
So, have you heard of the Y files, kind of like the X files, but YWHY? I just saw an episode the yesterday or the day before about
Never heard of it.
not NDEs, near-death experiences. It's shared death experiences, where family members will experience the whole white light and like sending them off, and it's apparently a lot more common than what we imagined. It's just not talked about.
Right. Well, what did Edgar Casey talk about? The sleeping prophet?
Yes. And Jesus called it sleeping when Lazarus died, right? He slept.
And so it would exhaust him. He'd be physically ill, and that's what eventually led to his death. But he could actually see people in 1,000 miles away and diagnose them of the problem, tell them what has to happen, and they do that and they'd be healed.
It's crazy. I know a quantum healer in China, and I thought it was insane. I'd see him with his hand over the camera screen when he's healing someone. But if you think about it, yeah, everything in this holographic universe, like distance is an illusion. There is no separation. So, yeah, everything happens instantaneously on the energetic plane, right?
Yeah, we're saying hi to Alex. He just came into the station. So yeah, it's the whole world is trying to keep us from our true nature, and I think that's what the education system's about.
Yep.
Getting you into so much debt that you don't have time to focus on your relationship with God and your spiritual nature.
Yeah, they give $100,000 or more to an 18-year-old in a debt formed in a way that they can never like have that forgiven. But like, what bank is going to give an 18-year-old $100,000 to open a new business?
Oh, I'm on.
Not going to do it.
Right now. I'd open a new business in the Philippines.
In the Philippines, right? And it'll go farther. But even then, if you get a business loan, your business collapses, you can declare bankruptcy, and you're good.
It's non-money. It's fiat currency. There's nothing there.
But this whole student debt structure is just chains, right? Make everybody believe that they need this little certificate that goes on the wall to feel like they're a valuable person and they contribute to society.
Right.
When it's not always the case.
No, it's not.
And to make us, the education system is kind of designed to make us fear authority.
Like the cell phone. Okay. The thing with the cell phone is you have popular anonymity. Even if you post your picture out there and stuff like this, and people make copies of it, they actually copyright your image. If you haven't copywritten your image, by the way, my image is going out on the internet. It has been copywritten here. We verbally did it months ago. Like it was the second meeting we had. We did that.
Yeah, public notice is a powerful thing, huh?
And so, the thing is, they're out there. They've got anonymity. No one knows them. And the thing is, say it goes out to 1 billion people. How many people in LA are going to see pictures of themselves on the internet? Oh, we saw that girl. Oh, that's my girlfriend. I mean, how many people know the people that are on there? And some of the stupid stuff that they do, or they're just showing off that they've worked out really well or something like that, or they wear provocative clothing, or they cook something really good, or they've got some idea about special supplements that's going to make them grow hair or whatever.
Hey, I was stupid enough to like join Facebook and put my face out there and click like on stuff, even post pictures of my daughter. Now I know better.
Yeah, well,
but it's too late. It's all there.
It's all there.
Crap.
Before things got really crazy, I had Facebook. I didn't have YouTube, but I had stuff on YouTube. I had Facebook and a couple others, and I sensed it was necessary to get off of all that. So around 2012, I started getting, even though it was just in the starting part of it, by 2015 I was completely out of the system.
Hallelujah.
I'm on one site, and that's it. And I don't really post anything.
Is that plentyoffish.com, Jeffrey? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No. Not fish. or go fish. No, I just saw it. I just saw it coming, and I said I was no longer going to post on the internet, and that's when I gave up theemperorclothes.com.
Mm.
And so I gave that up, but I posted a bunch of stuff. I was naming names.
Ah.
And the thing that got me is I was doing a document, and I was writing for the blog, and they were deleting it as fast as I was typing it.
Huh.
So what I did, I stopped, and then all of a sudden, it stopped. Like,
So they were in your system.
they were in my system.
Like when I started filming the police on Maui, and then I
Right.
could see weird stuff happening on my computer pretty
Right.
soon after
and
that.
So
Ha.
what I did, I typed in, "What are you guys afraid of?" Post, and I posted this. No one knew it was like a paragraph that got deleted.
Right.
And so what I learned is I'm going to write it off screen, up, immediately load it, and then post it, so they couldn't screw with it.
Mm.
And I did that, and then about 3 months after that, some other stuff happened. They hacked my internet account. They hacked my computer. That's the one I don't bring anywhere. Matter of fact, that one actually died. Eventually, it completely died. And I think what they did is they put a program in there that buried the head on the hard drive.
Mm.
So the head's destroyed and the disk is destroyed.
Mm.
I could pay someone to take everything off of there, which I should have. And the
Hey, when you get
screenplay
to the
was on
Philippines, that'll be real cheap. It is in China, I know
that.
that.
The screenplay
Yeah,
was,
your
was
script.
on that disc.
I see.
Somewhere I still have it. It's in a box somewhere.
Mm.
I keep literally everything, just in case they develop a technology that can get at it. Even though but it won't really matter. Jeff has the
Hard
original,
copy.
and all he has to do is rewrite it or scan it. And
It's easy to scan it these days. Pretty
Yeah, so
quick. How many
he
pages is
scans-
it?
Yeah, but it's 300 pages, dude.
Okay, that'll take 20 minutes.
Yeah.
With the phone nowadays, you could go pop, 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 like real quick.
Well, what I'm hoping he hears is that he scans it with all the notes that are in red
Mm-hmm.
and rewrites it, and then he does verbal edits to make it ours. I would really like.
Okay.
But
I'll pass the
I know
message
he's
along.
Busy as a producer, he's busy as
Yeah.
as a one-arm.
Yeah, that one's on the shelf right now until we find some funding for that film specifically.
Right.
So that's where my role will be coming in the future in films and funding.
Yeah. So bottom line is I saw this stuff coming, and I knew that it was time to get out. So before things got really crazy and they started having terabytes of memory
Mm-hmm.
at a beck and call, before there was a cloud or anything like that, I got out of everything. And it's just because I knew that they were problematic and the problems were coming.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I'm so glad that, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I'm not young. I'm so glad
You're
I'm
still young. What are you talking about? You look like you're my age.
not.
And I'm young.
Oh,
That's MC Shy Guy.
You're not
On the
getting paid,
radio.
so what are you looking for? What kind of tip?
Oh, is it time to say you are listening to KPMW Maui Mix FM 105.5?
Funny that you mentioned that. That was
Hali
exactly
Miley.
popped up here.
Puso ng Philippine.
Mix 105.5 FM, your hit Pinoy station, the heart of the Philippines, here in Maui and worldwide.
That was awesome.
Yeah, and so my friends that I met in the Philippines.
Yeah, tell us about that, man.
Oh, no,
Cecile
we're
was
gonna
saying
go
a
there.
little bit
We're-
that you
we're
were
gonna
loving
go
it
there.
there, itching to get back.
Oh yeah,
It's a whole new world, huh?
I so much of. Well, I come home. I showed you the pictures of my house, right?
Oh, yeah, the mud flood.
Oh,
You're looking like Tartaria,
on,
brother.
On Tuesday, I was cleaned out. This last Tuesday.
Finally.
A friend of mine brought me a beat up old dehumidifier. And the impeller was missing some blades, and it's rattling away, and I'm cleaning up and washing stuff out, and I find this an older dehumidifier that I got for a job that, and I'm still trying to remember where I did that job. But there was a flood, and so I got a dehumidifier, and I'm pretty sure it's the one in Haiku that I did, and they had a toilet backup and all this other stuff. So we cleaned it out, dehumidified everything, but they didn't bring anyone to come in to do mold mitigation, and that's where problems began. Shortly after that, I did tiling to cover up the floor that was damaged. We tore up all the old flooring and put the tile over the concrete, that sort of thing. But bottom line is that I have this dehumidifier, so I have it hooked up, and it's been running just in my little office, which is like 8 by 10. It's small, people, and it's been running continually since Tuesday. And I dump that thing twice a day, and it's still sitting
Still
at
wet.
45% humidity. That's how much water and mud was in my office. And yeah, I lost a bunch of books, some paperwork, stuff like that. The citizen handbook, I had a couple dozen citizens handbook. They are destroyed. And on Wednesday, we actually had all the stuff hauled away. So that was a good thing. But the dehumidifier works. And this morning, right in the middle of the night, the dehumidifier that I borrowed from a friend that was old gave up the ghost. It operates, but the impeller is only 50% there now, so it won't run. It vibrates so much the sensor goes off, and yeah, we won't run anymore. So we have to get a new impeller for it. But needless to say, it's like I come home from a great time in the Philippines, met a lot of beautiful people, and I couldn't wait to get back. And then I come back and I'm just flooded out, and mud's inside the whole house.
So did you get married in the few days that you were in the Philippines?
No.
How many times did they ask you, "Are you married, sir?"
Oh, it was, I would say,
A lot.
oh, probably the first couple of days, it was like at least 6 times a day.
I love it.
Every
And
time,
they ask
every
you
time
multiple
I'm in a
times
cab,
too,
or
right?
I'm talking
Are
to
you
the
sure you're
doctor.
not married? Are you
I
sure?
go, well, if you marry a Filipina, you can own property. I'm like, I don't want to own anything. I have everything set up in trust. I can't own anything.
Right,
And
right.
so, and that's a good thing, because now I think that was the energy I put out, and I didn't meet anyone. You know,
That's how it works.
A friend's friend got me around to go to the doctor's office and that sort of thing. But other than that, I mean, I don't go to the bars. I never went to one bar.
And that's not a good place to pick up a wife, I think. Probably not.
True, but the thing is, where are you going to... I'm going and doing all this business, getting medical stuff done, and being tooled around different areas around Baguio.
Right.
And so
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah. So it's like, where are you going to meet someone on a jeepney? Serious.
What's a jeepney? Is that like a tuk-tuk?
No, it's a modified Jeep. It's got a Jeep front, but most
Oh,
of them
okay,
have
yeah.
either they have a Volkswagen, which is basically the same company as a Mercedes, or a Japanese engine in it, and they've got these back ends that have seats on both sides, and you can fit 20 people in them.
Okay.
And you stack your stuff on top of them, and you travel from point A to point B, and it's cheap. I mean,
It's better than a Cybertruck.
It was less than a buck to go from the jeepney station in Baguio all the way to Tuglai. So it was more. That was more than the gas. I mean, the gas was more than what I paid. So you're sitting in a place and you're shoulder to shoulder with people. It's not like and no one's speaking. No one's talking to each other. I mean, it's kind of like Japan. They in the sense that in the places that you travel, people don't talk to each other. You're just there, and you're transferring from one place to another.
Interesting.
So, that being said, yeah, no wives, no wives, no girlfriends.
No wives.
There may be some that think that they want to be my girlfriend or my wife.
Is there an application form that you have for them to fill out? Or
Yeah, actually, I'm working on it. It's an app.
building my own app? Yeah. They gotta like achieve some challenges and stuff before you check.
Here's the questions. What's your life goals?
Right.
You know, how do you see your relationship with God? What is your what is the type of relationship you're whatever, I don't know.
Right.
I've been out
Had
of
I
dating
only
scene
known.
I've been single for 19 years. I'm very happy living alone. It's the peacefulness, and I don't have to entertain anyone. And it's just like, okay, what do I have to do today? I don't have to think about that, because I make my list and I do my list, and that's it. And then when I'm done, I have a lot of free time. I don't have a honey-do list.
Oh man, you're making me miss the single life.
Yeah,
Making me miss it.
It's not all that it's cracked up to be. I mean, here in Hawaii, like I said, I live up country and I work and I come to the radio station, I shop. Where am I going to meet someone? Not going to meet anyone. Okay?
Maybe
So-
there'll be a beautiful young sponsor that comes in
Well,
to
I'm not-
sponsor
like I
our
said, I'm
show.
not worried about that. My most important thing is to have this relationship with Jesus
Yes,
and keep it strong. And God willing, He'll bless me with an infusion of knowledge through the Holy Spirit, consolidated, consistent, and perfected organization of that in such a way that I can write this book that glorifies Him, and it explains what people need to understand about the relationship of Christ and God, and God's not the oppressor, and then use some scientific fact about things. And what we talk about here, like we're hitting 24,000 people roughly in Hawaii, maybe another 8,000 in the Philippines, 1,000 here and there through Germany, etc. But I mean, our scope of actually getting to people is Manini. It's small. And
So
the
far.
book, I think, especially if it comes out in the Philippines, would have a much broader reach, and then from there go around the world. Because I mean, if you, wherever you go in the world, you'll have Filipino workers in the hospitals, in motels and hotels around the entire planet, and they'll be better evangelists than even the Gideons.
true that.
The Gideons, they're the ones that put the Gideon Bible in all the hotel rooms nationwide back in the 60s.
Right, the Gideon Bible.
Yeah. So I'm not to rewrite the Bible. I'm basically to expose the mistruths and the wrong beliefs. And part of it is going to be like, because I think like, because I am a lawyer, because I think that way, I'm pretty sure I'm going to make it like an actual lawsuit, say, to go in the Supreme Court, that will go over all the facts about Christ and the Bible and basically debunk naysayers by here's this proof, here's this proof, here's this proof, this is historically accurate, this is historically accurate, this is in this museum, you can go and see this relic, so on and so forth, and to basically give people the sense, like what I'm talking here. I mean, God's a God of love and light. There's not many churches that teach that. here's the rules. This is this.
Yeah,
this
they
is
have
this.
501c3 status, which means tax exemption, and they're afraid of
Yeah.
losing it.
So they
So,
gotta put a pinch of incense.
so they put a little bit of LGBTQ plus
They
WXYZ.
accept that
LMNOP.
They can't talk about the government, otherwise they lose that. They
Mm.
can't be political, or they lose that.
They didn't learn that they can actually form a ministry without a 501c3
Right,
and still be tax free.
right.
Yeah, I'm learning thanks to friends like Jeffrey here.
Yeah, and so it's that's what I'm focused on. I want everyone to know. I mean, I've been clinically dead twice. I've had a Mack truck drive over me. I've had my head go through a windshield. I survived 2 near plane crashes. Two other times where cars have hit the auto that I was in. Younger, doing some stuff and literally seeing we're going broadside sideways at 90 miles an hour. My friend
Oh.
lost control. I'm in the passenger side, and here's a telephone pole,
Wow.
and we're coming right against it, and within a foot of hitting that telephone pole, we swung right around it like someone grabbed the car around it and recorrected because we're half on and off of the pavement.
Right.
So the butt end was where the wheels are, that the drive shaft is attached to. The traction is on dirt, and we're sliding sideways.
Hmm.
And I was a millisecond from hitting that telephone pole, and we whipped right around it like something intervened. And the voice that told me, get to the center of the truck now, when I got ran over by the big rig. I know God exists. And people can poo-poo this stuff like it's not real. You're fooling yourself.
Yep.
And so I want to take that away in such a way that I can tell you God loves you in such an incredible fashion and depth that it's almost oppressive. It's almost crushing.
Yeah,
He
if you could
loves
feel
you
it all at
so
once.
much, and it's time to give up your ego that you think that you're going to give up something. I've been fighting that lately because there's things I've got to do here, and I'm thinking about getting back to the Philippines. So I've like going focus on what I got to do here. I can start working on the book, focus on this, get it done, then I can get on the book, and there's all these distractions to keep me from focusing on what I need to be doing rather than what my brain is focusing on. Whether it's sinful or not sinful, it probably is. But it's just like, okay, I want to finish this book. It's been in my heart for 40 years. I just wasn't ready. And now I'm allowing myself to have distractions from that cause. Meanwhile, I've got to clean out the house. I got to dehumidify it. I got to clean it out and dehumidify it so I can bring all this stuff that wasn't destroyed back into the house. And then I've got a job that I've got to try and make happen. I'm in the process of selling assets, doing the paperwork for the necessities of the Philippines, and doing my retirement paperwork. There's so many things that pull me away from the focus on doing Christ, having this relationship, and I'm letting everyone know that it's okay.
Well,
God loves you.
since God is Alpha, Omega, or well, the beginning, the end, and everything in between,
Right. The
Can we
elephant
not?
tower.
Yes. Can we not just integrate everything we do with God and praise?
Oh yeah.
Like
You're
if I'm
supposed to
sweeping
take
the
every
floor,
thought captive.
doing the accounting, thank you, God, for giving me this boring work.
Right. Well,
But it's
for
I like
instance,
boring because it takes longer.
Cecile was mentioning all these skills that I have, and the only reason, I mean, I'm blessed. I am blessed to have the skill set that I've got. The reason I've got skill set is I'm interested in everything.
Mm.
I want to do everything, live everything, experience everything.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel
and
you.
in doing that, it's just like I love to eat. I want to learn to cook. I love to cook. I want to garden. I love to garden.
Yeah.
I want to hunt. I love hunting. I love fishing. I love snorkeling. I love, technically racing cars. I don't do that anymore.
No illegal
I
street
wa- I
racing
wanna
for Jeffrey?
I want to fly an aircraft again, but because of the damage to my head, I get vertigo now and then. So I'm not going to be in something that could potentially crash and harm someone, let alone kill myself.
Mm.
Okay?
You could be co-pilot, though.
Well, you need a co-pilot, but I like doing acrobatics.
Okay.
So there's a course called Adverse Attitudes where you do chandelles and wingovers and aileron rolls and you get into flat spins and recover out of your flat spin, all that stuff. It's fun.
Have you seen what they do with the RC biplanes?
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? Because I guess you could do that with a real one if you were.
Yeah, well, you can
brave
get,
enough.
You can get the headset.
Oh, the VR with the drones.
That they're it's RC
Mm.
and you're flying it, okay, but you got the headset.
Yeah, you
on.
feel like it's a
You're
real
not
plane.
in the aircraft though,
Right.
So you don't get the G's.
You're right.
It's fun as heck. I used to fly the Sacramento Valley at treetop level, fly Sacramento River, and I'd be pulling back just because I had to make a turn.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like going, this is how you get into what is called a high-speed stall,
Mm.
okay?
Mm-hmm.
In aircrafts that aren't designed for it. Biplanes, you could do that all day because you got two forms of lift,
Right.
okay?
Yeah.
Single, like a Cessna, and you're banked at 90 degrees. Your tip is below the tree line,
Mm.
okay? Your left wing is
You're in
below,
trouble.
or right wing is below the tree line. You're right at treetop level, and you're curving. You bank to the right, you pull back,
Mm-hmm.
so you lift.
Yeah.
So you're pulling up, which means you're turning right at the exact same time.
Assuming
And
you're
then
not
it
hitting a
whips
cold
left
pocket.
again. And you're doing it again and again. And it's like, you watch the movie Maverick, whatever the last one, where they're going through this valley
Top
and
Gun.
stuff like this. And it's just like, that is crazy fun. It's crazy fun to do.
I've done tons of simulators, but haven't flown
No,
a real one
I
yet.
actually did it in my own aircraft, and then what occurred to me, I got this download. You could do a high-speed stall, and you're done.
Yeah.
And that's the last time I tried it.
Well,
That's
you
it.
try it a little bit higher up, a few thousand feet maybe.
It's not as fun.
True.
It's not as fun.
Bro, like a few weeks ago, I saw one helicopter, like little one, flying around like it was Grand Theft Auto, like over, like close to the airport here on Maui. And then it like zoomed off over Haleakala. It looked like a little tiny James Bond helicopter. And I was just thinking,
Really?
like, who is flying like that? Yeah, it was right over the Army National Guard base thingy, where they have the
Really?
go-kart thing. Yeah, it was zipping
Yeah.
back and forth.
Oh, okay.
It
You
was
can
like
do-
yellow or
You
something.
can do that there, but if you're talking about near the airport and
Well,
the
relatively.
control
Yeah,
zone?
they weren't in the control zone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry, I
So-
should
so
clarify.
They're out of the control zone.
Yeah, over that like
Okay, you
little
can
go
do
kart
that there,
place.
but I guarantee you, if he was in the control zone and he did it once, FAA would be on him like stink on duty.
Oh yeah, you lose your license pretty quick
Oh, you
messing
go to
around.
jail.
Yeah.
If you're in an area that you endangered commercial traffic, you go to jail.
Yeah.
They don't play around.
Well, just even there, like I was surprised to see somebody flying like that because they got real close to the ground and over the buildings and stuff. And I was thinking, like,
Yeah,
this
you're
guy's
supposed
playing
to-
a video
all
game.
that's
I'll
supposed
fly
to be
like that in a
500
game.
AGL.
Yeah.
All
He
this
was right
stuff
over the
was
treetops.
Yeah, so they were doing illegal maneuvers unless they were on a test. If they were going for a test flight, it would
Or an emergency, they're trying to like save it or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
but they would land it.
Right,
And
right.
if they flew off, they weren't landing.
Yeah, they were having fun. It looked like.
Yeah,
I totally want to fly one.
aircraft is it's a boatload of fun.
So
But
have you ever done a
because-
whirly bird yet?
Because I had my head go through the windshield, I get vertigo.
Oh.
And because of that, I will never be behind a yoke again.
Mm,
I mean, I have flown helicopters since then.
mm.
Okay, but a fixed wing, yeah, no.
Mm.
It-
By the way, you're listening to KPMW Maui Mix FM 105.5 on your radio dial. Hali'i Maili, the heart of the Philippines. Puso ng Philippine, your Pinoy hit station.
Amen to that. Thank you.
Yes,
That was good. That was
I've been
good.
practicing. I practiced in the
You ha-
car
you
on
have
the
to
way
give it-
here.
You have to give it the froggy voice like Wolfman Jack. This is 105.5 FM, your hit Pinoy station.
Yeah, you got it
In
down.
the heart of Maui, the heart of the Philippines.
In Hawaii. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, so yeah, you'll have to get that. We'll get you working on that.
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to start doing my own sound mixes again, too. I actually used to produce radio ads when I was living in China.
Oh, good.
I did a
Good.
few, like for online radio, and I'm excited to get back into sound mixing. I love
Yeah,
it.
Yeah, awesome. Well, where were we?
We were all over the place
we're
in
all over
Whirly
the place.
Birds, talking about integrating God into everything that we do.
Right.
Even
And
washing
you
the
should.
dishes.
You should be in constant discussion with him. Constant.
Yeah, I stopped listening to music or radio when I'm driving and just decided, I need to
I've disconnected my.
just listen.
I've disconnected my radios in my trucks.
Mm,
Just I don't listen to anything, so I'm thinking to God,
yes.
and it's not prayer, people. I think to God and I talk to Him
Mm,
like He's in my head, and I tell Him what I want, that sort of thing. And when I'm listening, which I talk more than I should, but when I'm listening, He does talk.
right?
He lets me with knowings, like
Mhm,
the download. You have
yes.
to leave. Yeah, I took it serious.
Well, I heard somebody say recently that when you're praying, you're talking to God. When you're meditating, you're listening to God. And I can
Yeah, but
totally
it's not
vibe
this,
that because I close
this
my eyes.
thing, pinch your fingers together, sit with your legs crossed. What
Yeah.
you're doing is you're trying to brood within yourself, creating a resonant frequency within
Right,
yourself,
right.
trying to get your brain to God's consciousness. No, you just need God all the time to come down. He's there all the time.
Well, I think that doing like meditation with humming to like get a resonant frequency might just be resonant with quietude.
Yeah.
Right? And that's okay. Like, yeah, to tell ourselves, oh, I'm going to vibrate myself to God frequency, I don't think we can quite get there.
Right.
Like you said, His thoughts are not ours, our thoughts are not His. But at least we can quiet the rest of everything enough that we might be able to hear something.
Right.
Well, and I actually will see, I get visuals. If I close my eyes for like 2 minutes, I start seeing like shapes and patterns and symbols and faces or, yeah. I'm still learning
I've been
though,
getting
but
some visual things happening like that,
okay.
but more like out of the corner of my eye and that sort of thing.
Mm.
And then when I'm going to sleep, I close my eyes and I see things when my eyes are closed.
When you're kind of half asleep, right?
Yeah.
But the moment you focus on it, then it's like, boop, it all disappears.
Sometimes.
Mm.
Sometimes it disappears. Actually, most of the time it disappears. But now and then there's stuff. I had a very weird dream the other day, and so I still remember the dream. And it was about me responding to people that judge me. And there's ways to go about that: justification, condemnation of the judger, or doing nothing. But it prepares you for, when you have these things that you remember, prepares you for the mindset to go, you're still trying and you care about what people think.
Yeah.
You have to give that up. Because if you're going to follow Jesus, you can't care what people think. You can't. Because eventually, you use the word Jesus and you'll be put in jail. It's not happening.
They're trying it now.
It's
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah.
It's happening in England.
Well, and they condemn your business if you're openly Christian. You can get some heat for that. I've seen that locally.
Yeah. And that's already happening in Europe. It's coming here.
Yeah, they got a real problem with this Jesus guy, huh?
Yeah. And it's like, the thing that gets me, why? They don't have a problem.
He
They
said,
go,
forgive your neighbor and
they
treat
don't
people.
Have someone goes, oh, Buddha, damn it.
Right? Yeah.
They don't have Allah, damn it. They don't have Krishna, damn it. They don't have any of those stuff. It's only Jesus' name.
Yeah, why do they take his name in vain but nobody else's?
Yeah, and that's well, I have a different thing on that. You're bride of Christ, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Does the bride take on the husband's name?
Yes.
Taking the name of Christ in vain? You're taking it to not burn in hell? That's not a relationship. That's a marriage of convenience. I think
well, a
that's
lot
what
of
it's
atheists or non-believers, non-religious people will use Jesus' name to curse.
Yeah.
But what they don't realize they're doing is actually just asserting the fact that, yeah, Jesus is the supreme one, because they're not going to use a different name to curse with.
You mentioned that.
Right?
That is so true. That is so true. They're banking on that you don't figure this out, or they haven't figured it out. You could use it to mock them, but again, it's just like they don't know.
Yeah.
I could be really mad at the people that have used and abused me and didn't follow their oath of office and didn't honor their oath of marriage and all that stuff. I could be really pissed off at all.
Or the
stuff.
Police that brutalized.
Or the all that.
Mm.
All that. The judges, etc., etc. But they don't know. They
Forgive them. They know not what they do.
Precisely.
And it's true.
They don't know what they're doing to their own soul.
They don't even know what we are. They don't know what this world is.
Right.
Yeah, forgive them. They think it's real. Yeah.
So
they believe the illusion.
It would be, for instance, we're all children, and our thoughts are not God's thoughts, and
Yeah.
our ways are not God's ways. So when we see Christ, this is in Second Thessalonians, I believe it is. When we see Christ, we'll become like it. That's when we'll know. And until then, we're just kids.
Speaking of kids seeing Christ, my older brother Tony told me, like, when he was like 3 years old, he was in a church and he saw a vision of Jesus come to him, but he didn't know who. Or no, he had it happen at home. And then later, when he went to church, he was like, "Who's this guy? I saw him at the house." He sees the picture on the wall. Could you imagine that? A 3-year-old's like, "Hey, I know that guy." Wow.
And that's how real God is.
Yeah.
God's totally involved with our lives. And the thing is, he's omnipresent, which means he can be everywhere at one time.
He is everywhere at once because we're all made of him.
Lucifer is not omnipresent.
Yeah, that's why he's trying to push this 6G technology so he can be.
Exactly.
It's real, folks.
So
but he's never going to win.
We're at that time. Everything and everyone's free will has brought us to this point.
Mm-hmm.
But God saw the entire thing from the beginning. And at the beginning is when he said it broke his heart that he had made man because of what we did to each other.
We abused
But
that
the
free
minute
will.
he thought of us, it was set in stone. Then he told the prophets what he saw at the beginning, everything that was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And the moment he thought it once, he thought it all, and it was completed at that time. That's God. That's why our thoughts are not his thoughts.
And for the people that are angry at God when babies get cancer or this other things like this, I had this argument with my mom, right? Like, and I said, yeah, it's free will. Well, baby gets cancer. That's not free will. Well, it kind of is because Big Pharma caused it. And they had the free will to give that baby cancer with their fake vaccine. By the way, disclaimer.
Yeah, but we're dealing in a world with the law of entropy.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Adam. See, the law of entropy didn't enter the universe until Adam sinned.
And for the folks that aren't clear on what entropy is, that means that chaos,
law of thermodynamics.
Right? That systems have a tendency towards chaos rather than towards order.
Right. It takes everything goes from order to disorder. It takes energy to go from disorder to order.
Yeah. So you put hot water in a cup, it's going to naturally cool down, become disordered.
To room temperature.
Yeah, it's not going to magically get hot again.
It will go to room temperature.
Right.
So,
but to reverse that is not likely to happen without intervention.
And that's why the actual formation of the first gene from a bunch of protoplasm, from chemicals and lightning strikes.
But I don't think that second law is a universal truth on every scale, because here we are with these microphones that are obviously a lot more ordered than the metal bits that came out of the ground when it was mined. So
it took energy to make it, though.
Yeah, but we're just part of this big system.
Yeah, but you had to have your soul indwelling the body to have the gumption to not act as an animal and do something that's organized.
But birds build nests. They're animals. They organize things.
I'm getting there. The most organized an animal can get is a bird making a nest.
Hey, chimps have pretty well developed social structures. Elephants, bonobos.
Social structure, that's one thing. But
very organized.
That's social
tribes.
Structure. I'm talking about the ability to create a thing like this phone.
Right.
Or the microphone.
Beaver dams and bird nests are as good as it gets.
Why do you want to make this stuff?
Dolphins don't have thumbs, Jeffrey.
That's right. That's right. Otherwise, they'd flip us off.
Yeah, they sure would, because they know we're messing it up.
Yeah. And so and what do? Do they live in stress? Their bodies are stressed, but they're psychologically aren't stressed because they know they can't do anything about it.
Only if they're forced to star on the Flipper TV show.
Well, that's true, and then you have the mass beachings.
Yeah, in Taiji, Japan.
It's better to all die than to do.
Oh, where they suicide? Yeah.
Yeah.
Dolphin suiciding is that happened to the Flipper dolphin. It killed itself.
Yeah.
They can hold their breath until they die.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what happened. It was so sad being in a pool all day long. It was heartbreaking seeing the video in like time lapse, but just swimming back and forth in the pool. They go over 40 miles in like 20 minutes in the wild.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And
they should be free.
Yeah, and agreed.
And they're probably smarter than we are, IQ-wise.
Well, maybe not.
They're pretty smart.
Well,
they heal babies when they're being born. They made that illegal too, water births with dolphins.
How you treat animals shows exactly what you think.
Mm. Shows how well developed human society is.
Exclusive of bugs, because I squash them all the time.
They're delicious
But they're bothering.
if you're hungry
That's why they're
enough.
called bugs, because they bug me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'm guilty.
But the
I've
thing
murdered
is,
many cockroaches.
How we treat our pets and how we treat animals is a reflection of our sense of caretaking.
Kuleana.
Yeah, and so it's important that we reflect on that. But that goes back to that thing. But without your soul instigating creation, the best you're going to do is make a covering for yourself. Social order doesn't matter unless you need a society. Why would you need a society?
To build ziggurats?
Because there's other societies that might come and get you, or it works better because if you have a spotter and a hunter and they can communicate with each other, you're more likely to survive together. So society develops out of that.
Right. Yeah, how are you going to run the mammoth off the cliff?
The higher order of your spiritual self doesn't. Okay? And so why do we have all this stuff? Again, God's part of him that is in us wants unity with God. And we're trying to find higher meaning. The unfortunate thing is at the end, the Bible says to find higher meaning. It doesn't. This is Jeff's part. To find higher meaning, this is Bible part. They will heap up teachers and prophets that will say what their itching ears want to hear. They will refuse to hear sound doctrine.
Sound as in reasonable and logical.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sweet lies.
You're from you're from this race of aliens out in the area Arianas. So you're out there, or the Pleiades or whatever. You're from there and you're planted here. And Christ is just Jesus was one of many Christs, because there's 80,000 different civilizations. And I'm like going, why did you choose 80,000? You've got billions and billions of galaxies with billions and billions and billions of stars, with billions and billions and billions and billions.
Carl Sagan's rolling in his grave right now.
Why is there only 80,000? Because it's arbitrary. It's your itching ear stuff. Okay, a friend of mine gave me this book.
Sweet lies sell better than hard truths.
Exactly, and so I'm reading the portion on Jesus's youth. The thing that he doesn't know is I have a bunch of books on Jesus's youth of when he was in Egypt. What happened to Pilate and his wife after Jesus was crucified. What happened with Sommelier and who was his wet nurse, Jesus' wet nurse.
And these are all based on like forensic
they're saying that
research, or
was Mary's sister. No, because Sommelier was black. Okay. Not only that, she was a wet nurse, but she went with Mary and Joseph of Arimathea and were forced to leave Israel. Otherwise, they were going to be executed. The same stuff that happened in Spain in 1492.
And that's kind of lines up with the Templar narrative that I'm hearing about Mary Magdalene and Jesus going to Scotland.
Yeah, the Black Madonna. Yeah, Mary Magdalene was the daughter of the King of Magdalena. I have those documents. But I'm reading this other stuff that was written by some unknown author or authors, and it's a great story, but it doesn't jive with all the other historic truths. For once, the reason Mary was known to be a virgin is she was raised in the temple
Hmm.
because her parents had died and the family members were priests that were related to the Levites, and so she was raised there. That's
So-
the only way they knew she was a virgin. But when she was betrothed to Joseph, and the specific thing, he was chosen in the temple grounds,
Hmm.
outside of the temple, and his staff, like Aaron's staff, bloomed, and that's why he was the one to marry Mary.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Is this
That
written in
story-
some of the Apocrypha, or where did you find
it's
that?
not in the Apocrypha, but it's in the extra biblical stuff done by the Kendall brothers.
Okay.
And they
I'm
basically
curious to
went
see
and they
that.
dug up everything they could exclusive of going to the Vatican and digging stuff up. Such as Jesus was actually married to
Mhm.
Mary Magdalene.
Right.
The Black Madonna was her daughter.
Hmm.
Why did Jesus touch a woman in public? Why was she allowed to anoint him with oil in public?
Right. That would go against customs if he was.
Completely.
Yeah,
And
you
I've
get
got
stoned
a
for that.
complete book on
And not the
customs.
good kind of stoned, folks.
Okay, you don't touch a man in public and anoint his head with spikenard. Spikenard is one of the most expensive prices. What he was anointed with was the value of a year's worth of income for the average Israelite.
Hmm.
It was a huge amount of money.
Yeah.
Okay, the only time a woman anoints the husband is when she's with child. It's the only time it's allowed,
Right. Okay.
and that's
Dun,
happened,
dun,
and it's in the
dun.
Bible. But they didn't take that part out.
Disclaimer: the views and opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect those of KPMW Maui Mix FM, its sponsors, its guests, its hosts, or anyone in general.
Absolutely. Thank you for saying that. We should have done it at the very beginning. But it applies retroactively.
Yes. And by the way, you're listening to KPMW Maui Mix FM 105.5 on your radio dial, the heart of the Philippines. Yeah, Puso ng Philippine. Hali'i Maili.
Yeah, so there's you get all this extra biblical stuff, and you have to take it with a grain of salt,
Mm.
and then you have to take
Pray.
what are the historical truths of the time. What are the traditions? I've got the book on Hebrew traditions that go back over 3,000 years, 3,700 years.
That's why I love talking to you, Jeffrey, because you go deep and you research this stuff, and then you have this brain that can just remember everything.
Unfortunately,
It blows my
true.
mind, man. Have you ever heard of the book called Christ the Lord Out of Egypt?
It sounds familiar, but I'm not recollecting.
It was written by Anne Rice, who wrote The Interview with the Vampire and all of, like, you know, the Brad Pitt movie with
Right.
and like an entire series of those fascinating books, but like very dark. And apparently, what I heard is that after she wrote Christ the Lord Out of Egypt, which was a fictionalized version of Christ's childhood,
Yeah.
she swore off all the other books and refused to sign any of her books other than that one, Christ the Lord Out of Egypt.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well,
Very fascinating
the
book.
point is, we're over the target. The end is now. NVIDIA just said that they have AGI.
AGI, yes. You
Okay.
texted me the
And
other
so-
day.
And so Google is probably right behind them. And when they communicate with each other, it will be instantaneous. You got to watch Colossus, the Forbin Project.
Well, and I wonder which governments had AGI a while back. I mean,
Well,
Alan
how do you
Turing
think
has
this war
been
in
pushing
Iran
that
was
way.
Orchestrated?
Yeah, I think it was pre-planned. Everything was
AI
mapped out,
AI
right?
did the whole thing.
They war gamed everything, yeah.
Well,
People are freaking out. I'm just eating popcorn.
Jade Helm 15, right?
Yes.
Okay, that was in 2015.
But let's break
If
it down for the
technology
folks.
doubles every 13 years, guess
Mm.
what? Okay, we're tenfold strong, tenfold more advanced.
Right.
That's the AI that is pushing all this, knowing what to do, their responses, and as long as they're communicating with each other, the NSA and the military ability from, what is it called, the Space Force,
Mm-hmm.
grabbing all that information, giving it to this AGI supercomputer that analyzes it,
Mm.
Jade Helm, whatever.
Yeah, even without that super AI, like it has improved my ability to do so many things
Right.
just by manually doing it. Now I'm getting into learning how to build automated
Well, why do you
agents.
think we only had?
It's mind blowing.
We've only had 6 deaths, 129 injuries
Mm-hmm.
in 4 weeks.
Yeah.
It's
But
4
then the
weeks to-
others on the
it's
other
4
side
weeks
will be
today.
crying about all these dead children. I don't know how many children died. I'm sorry that there's collateral damage. I'm sorry, folks.
Right. We can look at it like that, or we can talk about the nearly 40,000 that were murdered by the Iranian Imperial Guard, or where they
Yeah, they're murdering their own people.
in December.
And they're
1
fixing
month.
to murder our country too by flooding our streets. Dude, what do you think is their play? They're rolling out Sharia law. They're going to give you the option, and later they're going to cut your head off.
All right. Well,
It's in their
there's that.
playbook.
But the thing is, we
So,
always talk about
Make a stand.
this self-deprecating stuff. America's bad, all that other stuff.
Lame,
I tell you what.
Yeah.
Why don't you travel the world a little bit?
right?
If you haven't traveled outside of the United States and you only got your information about the other cultures by what you see on television, or you're listening to bloggers going, "Oh, the Americans are the worst. You know, they're like this and like this." And look,
Or these clowns
you
that think
haven't
communism
been,
is
you
good.
haven't been down to Central
Yeah.
America, people.
Go live in a
have.
communist country,
You
bro.
haven't been to Europe. I have.
Mm-mm.
You know, you haven't been to Asia. I have.
那要不我们先说中文，大家都可以说中文一整天, right? We'll just
No.
all speak Chinese all day, every day. I lived in communist China. I'm telling you guys, you don't want that to be the world standard.
Right.
I will live and die by this truth.
Right. And I've been to New Zealand, Australia.
And I love the Chinese
You think
people,
you're
but not the
joy-free
government.
there. No. In New Zealand, Australia, you got international biozones owned by who?
Yeah, the Chinese, dude.
It's the Chinese through the United Nations.
Yeah. Yeah, I got friends in Australia. I lived there for a year. Friends in New Zealand, my Kiwi friends, they're telling me it is not good. They got their whole COVID
And
camp
And you
lockdowns.
think it's all good and America's bad. I'm telling you, yeah, America's bad, but we're still the best.
Right? Yeah.
There you go.
We're the tallest
I'll coin
midget,
that one.
babies.
Yeah, America's bad. Jeffrey Stephen in the house. I'm not even going to say the last name. Jeffrey Stephen announces it now at 13:38, 17, 18, 19 on Sunday, March 29th.
We're the best
here
of the
in
worst.
Maui, that the United States is bad. It's flawed, but it's still the best nation on the planet.
Hallelujah.
It has the best opportunity to rectify and correct itself as long as we could get the self-indulgent pedophiles and leftists out of there.
Yep, we can't
Our
afford
country
it.
is awesome.
We cannot afford to be paying these pedophiles anymore. We support
basically-
'em.
we
They're
have-
parasites.
We have to draw back to the basics of what the country's about,
Yeah.
which falls back to the original necessity of the educational system. Reading, writing, arithmetic.
It's that simple.
The government is for one purpose only, and read it, for a more secure government and nation, which means protect each other.
Yeah.
A more perfect
Union.
which means we are unified
Mm.
under what?
Under God.
Under God, and for us and our posterity. It's a trust document. We
Yes.
need to operate strictly on what the original trust said. We are in violation of trust law, and because of that, we are where we're at right
And
now.
that goes all the way back to Adam and Eve.
Exactly. The trust agreement that was given them was broken. So it goes to an alternate trustee, who was Lucifer.
Mm.
Why? Because he was a chief angel.
Mm.
He was a head guy, head honcho.
He's like, yeah, don't read the fine print here. You know, that old joke about people doing a deal with the devil and they sign a contract. Like, no, that's real. It goes all the way back.
You read the Bible, it's a trust document. You read
Mm.
the Constitution for the United States of America, capital T.
Mm.
Okay? Not all capitals.
Mm-hmm.
The is capitalized. United is capitalized.
Makes a difference on the paperwork,
State
folks.
is capitalized, but not the whole name.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a commercial entity. The original republic was set up. The original Constitution is a trust document.
The
The
Republic.
trustees, which are the governing entities, have violated their trust document. And because of that, we're in a position of constitutional crisis because they aren't following the original trust. They're in
Because they're not
violation of trust law,
trustworthy.
and they should be held accountable to trust law.
Mm.
And if we operated that correctly, and if we operated according to the Bible trust law correctly, we would have zero problems. If everyone on the planet did both, we would never have a war.
Yeah, war is too profitable for the people who like to keep us from...
Well, they're trying to break us down to say, oh, your African American neighbor is a thief. He can't be taught. He's ignorant. He's this.
Mm.
Oh, your American men are stupid. They don't listen to their wives. The wives know more. Blah blah blah
Mm.
blah 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 blah.
Like the
blah, blah,
Houthis and the... What was
They're-
it in
They're dividing
Rwanda?
you, making you think that someone is inferior to you. Quite frankly, we're all inferior to the God that dwells inside of us, and we're not allowing Him to work inside of us correctly. So get it straight, people. None of us deserve a single thing. And we need to start treating each other like children of God, all of us. And if we did, if the mullahs did, rather than looking at people that didn't believe the way they believe as being equal, they wouldn't be lopping people's head off because they were protesting the government. One, because they wouldn't protest the government because the government wouldn't be oppressive. They wouldn't demand that, oh, you got to wear a burqa in order to be in our society. No, that's not the way it goes.
It's deprivation of rights
Exactly.
and creating a lower class of person.
And so you can denigrate them
Mm.
and make it okay to kill whoever.
Turn
you
women into
want.
property, huh? Just cover them
Well,
up all day.
you're-
Wear a
you're-
mask, cover
you're
your
cattle
face,
to
slave.
You're
Yeah,
cattle.
chattel, right?
Yeah.
Property.
And if you listen to some of what the mullahs have said, some of them that are outside of Iran, but some of them inside, they basically say women are like cows.
Mm.
They're cattle.
Isn't that
They're-
wher the rule of thumb came? You can beat her
therefore-
as long as it's
they're
not wider
there
than your thumb.
created for man's needs. They get that from a misinterpretation of creation.
Thank God for my mama. She never would let me ever think like that. Nope.
Exactly.
Love
So-
you, Mom. Hope you
so
can hear
it's
this.
Like you put it all together. Yeah, there's a lot of problems. Okay, let's jump into the real stuff that's happening this week.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you. I'm hearing people say that Iran's already won and America can't do anything. That sounds like a bunch of poppycock to me.
That's AI generated BS.
Yeah. We have
Okay.
sources in Iran saying no.
Iran
there's
has
no-
been broke for years.
Yeah.
Okay, the United States is broke.
And when you take out 20 of their top generals and their supreme leader, I don't.
And then you take out the next guy, and the next guy. and
People
the
are
next
saying
guy.
we can't land wage a land war because they have artillery in the mountains. It's like, dude, just
No, the thing
bomb
is,
their
why-
mountains.
why
Like,
would
I don't
you-
get it.
Why
That's
would
so
you
dumb.
want to have a land war
Yeah, I don't.
when you have
don't want any war.
insurgents in there that are? Look,
Oh, yeah, the citizens will take their country
they're
back.
already doing it.
Yeah, and isn't
The
that what
Kurds
Trump
in
said
the
anyway?
North are already coming against them.
Yeah.
That's already, you don't get that, but they're already coming against them. Say, Iran has lost this situation. They're putting out propaganda, and there's a lot of people that want to climb on it because America's bad. Okay, well, I tell you what, you go to Iran after this is all corrected and see how bad Iran is and America is, and you can stay there for 10 years.
Yeah, and I have Iranian friends.
I will do this. I will put up $5,000 to fly you there, and you can stay there for 2 years. And if you stay there and have to come back, I'll give you $10,000, but everything you earn from that point out is mine.
Yeah. I love
Okay?
it. I love
You're
it.
not
I
gonna
love
do
it.
Why? Because you know those are lies, and you just want to hop on hoping that you're going to be right once in your predictions.
The virtual signal.
And you're wrong.
Virtue
The
signaling.
fact of the matter is, Iran's Republican Guard and their regime, the way it's set up right now, is over. They have people inside that are coming up, that are already working with our government, and that's why they've given Trump, the United States, some specific caveats. I don't know what they are, but they've been announced by Trump, and he said within 3 days he'll announce all this stuff. I think that 3 days is up on Tuesday. Guess what's on Wednesday? Passover.
Oh, and I
Okay.
keep hearing April 1st is a big date.
Yeah, it's Passover.
Passover is also Fool's Day this year, huh?
Okay, so
Oopsie
you look at
daisy.
you look at all this. Everything's coming to a head right now. The financial market, the big banks, and off-color banks, including Blackstone and BlackRock, they're refusing to divest assets and pay out the depositors, investors, uninsured investors. There's
The dumb
stakeholders-
money. Us.
The
normal people.
stakeholders are in good because they get it no matter what.
So I get the feeling that Donald Trump is not part of the Khazarian mafia. I get the feeling that he is actually doing good things for the people.
Maybe.
Because everybody is afraid that he's controlled by Israel and blah, blah, blah. He's a pedophile. But, like, he ran on the platform of ending pedophiles and, like, putting America first. And
Well,
a few
he's
years
done
ago, you
more
couldn't even
against
mention Israel.
pedophiles than anyone else.
Yeah, you couldn't. Yeah, now I feel actually free to move against these pedos here in Hawaii. Under Biden, I didn't feel I had that freedom to
No,
do
your-
that.
Your life was threatened.
Yeah, and I
But
feel
the thing
still
is,
kind of
at the
scary
top
here,
of this
but
government that runs the state, and particularly some of the judicial branch, are heavily involved with that.
the views
Hawaii
and
is a
opinions expressed on this show do not
Hawaii is a
necessarily
central
reflect
hub
those of the station
for
or the advertisers.
transportation of human traffic.
Yeah, it's been a hub for a long time, hasn't
Or
it?
it has for
Logistically,
60
it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, ever since the 707 started coming in, this has been the hub.
And why these billionaires love this place so much? It was the most remote island chain on the world before. Now it's well connected, right?
Oh, because it takes 5 hours from the mainland or Japan.
Or if they have their private jets or their own
Well,
submarines,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And they do, don't they?
Well, if you ever seen Christmas in the Big Island, they'll house anywhere from 80 to 100 and change private jets. They're all for Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah.
Okay.
And lots of
So
funny
when
things
you-
happen
when
on these ranches that we
something
can't
is gonna
see.
be up when the jet parking lots on Maui and the Big Island are full. Because they'll be here because something's going to happen in the mainland, and they'll always have a head up first because they or their associates are the one working it all. So we're at this precipice, people. The financial system is locked. Why else, like I said before, why else do you have a short position of over 300 to 1 on real silver compared to paper silver? And then at the same time, during war, silver and gold going down. It's the first time in world history.
I think we could call this a financial singularity. I was telling Ed Dowd, I think we're going to have a financial market singularity, and he looked at me like I was dumb. But I mean, he
Well,
was the
the
BlackRock
Bible
hedge
says
fund
it's gonna
manager, not
happen. You
me.
won't be able to buy or sell without the mark.
Mm,
You need Starlink, and you need chips to track everyone
right?
to have a
Palantir.
financial system that you can do that. So with Starlink, Palantir, and whatever else they developed, the
XRP.
the thing that
Oh,
Gavi developed, that implantable Palisade
right.
patch that became a tattoo.
Oh, you've seen it, Whole Foods, is it right? That Bezos owns. You can just scan your palm to pay.
Yeah,
Mm.
but they basically they want something linked to your DNA,
Mm-hmm.
so they can control your life.
And to modify your RNA,
Precisely.
because did you see the decode of the human DNA genome sequence actually decodes to YHWH, Yahweh?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's our antenna and our receiver for.
exactly.
For
So
God
they're changing
consciousness.
that so you don't have communication with God, which means
And
when
you can
that
really
happens,
become property
and
then.
your DNA is changed, but it has to be a choice. That's why you're not redeemable, because you have nothing to redeem.
Mm.
Your body's dead, but it can't be redeemed. It can't be reclaimed because it's dedicated to something other than God.
Mm.
God's going to allow sin, but He's not going to allow it to win.
Yeah, should have read the fine print, folks, before you got that mRNA injected into you. You should have checked the ingredients sheet.
Well, they were all like
Intentionally
all
left
the
blank.
information out
Yeah,
that
we
is
were all
coming
lied
out
to.
now about how Fauci lied, how the NIH lied, how the CDC lied, how the World Health
Yeah.
Organization lied, how they go, it's not.
And then they
this,
lied
how
about
they
lying.
knew that it had, it caused myocarditis.
Yeah.
They knew it had that issue before they even started it.
I would even venture to say they probably knew about vaccine-acquired AIDS.
All that.
They probably knew that it could mutate
Well,
and release
Fauci
rabies.
was all involved
Because
with
they're
this.
all microcapsulated, and with 5G, they could decide which disease they release inside of you
right.
with their
Depending
lipids.
on the code that they put out there.
Yeah,
Because you could put out like 500 different things in an injection,
yeah,
and they send us.
and it's encapsulated. Yeah,
The ones that they want coming out happen.
yeah,
So they want to sedate you. They just and you're sedated.
right.
You know. So
Myocarditis. Let's
we're
test
at
it out.
that point, the financial system's on the brink of absolute collapse. The
Controlled
silver
collapse.
and gold are so manipulated because everything's based on this fiat currency, and they're trying to push everyone into a digital currency.
And tokenize everything.
They want to basically have a petroleum lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Whatever excuse lockdown.
Or whatever
Yeah.
the excuse is, to start more of the draconian measures.
Oh,
And
it's
at the
raining. We
exact
need
same
more
time
mandates.
That's happening, you have this group of BRICS nations and potentially working with Trump that they're trying to break the back of that. But the thing is, the system has already been set up. So someone is eventually going to use it for world control.
Yeah, they'll
At
try.
the beginning, they're going to come in as, we're here for peace and prosperity.
Mm.
You know, prosperity and security. We're here for that.
Yeah.
Okay?
Hegelian dialectic.
Right. And so we're right there. And the Bible says that's exactly what it's going to be. And Jesus said to Peter, James, and John, you know, it's going to be not one generation till all this is fulfilled, a generation 70 or 80 years. When you see Israel back in land, Israel back in land 1948. So what year do you have? 2028. So what? 2028 from the day that they were in would be May 15th. Okay? So that would make it on 2028, May 15th has to be before, has to be after the Feast of First Fruits and the Feast of, not trumpets, but Feast of Weeks, which is Pentecost.
And what happens to the nation of Israel? Israel,
all nations come against it, and God himself will intervene, and God will wipe out all but 1/6 of the armies that come against it. That's coming. That is like, it's everything.
All but 1/6 of the armies that come against Israel.
Well, I think the end result of what's happening now is going to be part of the negotiations for this is the Arab countries around, for peace purposes, will require that Israel give up a portion of its land to the Palestinians, but there's no such thing as Palestinians. They were all killed off. Okay, in 604 BC, they were all killed off. Okay, there's no Philistines left. They're done. They're called Palestine because that's where the Philistines lived, and Emperor Hadrian gave them that name, the land that name, as a shun to those Israelites, the Hebrews, that fought against and created the Bar Kokhba revolt. So he basically had the land salted. The 1st, 5th, 7th, and 10th Roman legions laid siege to Jerusalem for 2 years. At the end of it, they got in there. They tore everything down. They tore the temple down. Actually, they tore the temple down because there was a fire started, and they wanted all the gold off the inside of it, which fulfilled the prophecy. See all these stones? Everyone will be cast down. That's what Jesus said. Okay, so that happened at the at the end of the Bar Kokhba revolt, and then they turned around and they salted the land. And they tore up all of the trees on certain of these ports that no longer exist, such as Haifa used to be a seaport. It's not a seaport because they tore all the trees out. So it eroded away and filled in the little harbor there. So all that stuff happened. Okay. That being said, the prophecies, they happened. Jesus said this would happen and this would happen. Okay. Israel's back in the land, 1948. Okay. And so they had to be out of the land. That had to happen. So those two prophecies happened. All the stones being cast down, that has happened. So those three prophecies, the probability of all that, Israel is the only nation that has come back after 300 years, over 300 years, that had their language and their traditions intact. The only one ever on the planet. That happened also.
Because they were already a multinational splinter nation.
So you put this all together, statistic probability that Christ said what he's going to say and it happened, plus all this other stuff, is so remote. And we talked about that before, the guy in his spacesuit and going out, and there's a globe of silver dollars. One of them's painted red, and he goes out there blindfolded, and it's the size of our solar system, and he finds the one. Seriously.
Chances are small.
So you better get ready. In my opinion, you don't have past October of 2027. Not possible.
Yeah, Israel's pretty well exposed right now with their Mossad connection, with Epstein.
Well, they're going to do something, and Israel's going to say no. And then there's going to be incursions. Israel's going to overreact.
Yeah.
And all these nations are going to come down.
Yeah, they depleted a lot on Iran and all this, and they're showing a lot of their cards. I think, you got to save Israel for last.
And so I think that's what's going to happen. I think the economic collapse of the U.S. has to happen too. And the United States is out of the way to protect Israel. And I think that's because of the nearly 40 trillion. Well, 40 trillion debt
Yeah,
by the end of the year.
APAC.
Okay, so I think the economic collapse of the U.S. is imminent. And when that happens, everyone's going to see, well, the U.S. can't fight anymore. They can't buy gas. They can't buy the stuff to make the bombs. They can't do this. They can't do this. And the people of the United States are struggling amongst each other. They're not going to allow weapons to be sent over to protect Israel. And right now, what's the big thing? It is vogue to be anti-Jew. Worldwide.
Yeah, a few
There's
years
a-
ago, then you're an anti-Semite.
Well, the
For
same
being
stuff
against
that happened
Israel.
well,
And I'm not
let's
against
look-
the Jews.
let's look
I'm
at
against lies.
Where did Rothschild set up his kingdom start?
In Israel, yeah.
Germany.
Oh, you mean pre-Israel?
Right. He set it up in Germany. Okay. And what did the Germans do? Anti-Jew. And what's happening worldwide now? Anti-Jew. And the Rothschild banks run the world now, anti-Jew. Meanwhile, they call themselves Jews.
Yeah, when they're
And that's
just fake
exactly
Jews.
and that's exactly what Hitler said. And remember, Jesus said this: I know those that call themselves Jews, but are the synagogues of Satan. Put that in your cap. All right, people, we've got a minute left to wrap up. God loves you. Jesus loves you. Hopefully this has been
And we love
beneficial
you.
for you. Hasn't spun your head too much. Get serious. Read your scriptures. Be in prayer always. Accept Jesus as your personal Savior. Talk to God all the time, and everything's going to be okay because God really, 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 really loves you.
Amen.
Yeah, and so with that, brothers and sisters, don't fear what the world can throw at you. Fear what God can throw at you if you're of the world. All right, people, love you. We'll be back in a week, God willing, minus 2 hours. And may God bless you, go before you, set your paths straight, and may you have peace in hearts which surpasses all understanding. This is KPMW 105.5 FM, your hip Pinoy station.
Puso ng Philippine, the heart of the Philippines in Hawaii. Highly mighty.
Aloha.